Hello.
How are you today?
Good. How's it going?
Jeez. It's raining. It's been raining all day. And up where I am, it's not that bad. It's just dreary and
Hmm.
constant drizzle. It was a heavier rain earlier this morning, but I
Okay.
went to my eye doctor and he lives down Miami Beach. He's like, "Did you get woken up early this morning by that huge thunderstorm and like going sideways rain?" I was like, no, that's why I don't live down there. That, the flooding, and lack of parking,
Right. Those are
and
very
the
important things.
tourists.
Those are very important things.
Yes.
I hear about Miami Beach, and I see the pictures. I'm like, that's too much.
Yeah, because I asked him, I said, because I had a friend whose car got washed away. And when they found it was a write off.
Oh,
And yeah, and I said, don't y'all have a lot of flooding down there? Like, even when it just drizzles? He's like, well, I've kind of found the routes where I can get through, I think, safely. I was like, I think what? Oh, okay.
I think safely though.
I think. Okay. Child, they have something down going into Miami Beach. It's one of the, I think it's on A1A. And whenever the red tide comes, like everything is flooded out, like the whole road, everything.
Yeah, no, I
And I was
don't do
just
that.
like,
No. Mm-mm.
okay, that ain't even like a real storm or nothing.
Mm-mm. We don't
So,
do those. We don't do those type of things.
child. But I'll take the rain.
Yeah,
I'll
rain's
take the
good.
rain. I'll take it. All right, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the commentary zone. This is Friday is our big day. We have a lot going on today, so we'll have two live shows today for you guys. First up on the docket. Oh, before that, hello. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Tell a friend. Um, and I'm telling you that, and I need to do it myself. So here we go. On the docket today, we have the Family Chantel Season 3, Episode 4, Finding Your Roots. I really enjoyed the majority of this episode.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We can just dive right into it. So pretty much this was for me, the episode boils down to Pedro meeting with his cousin, the family going
South Carolina,
to
was
South
it?
Carolina, and then the dinner with John. That's pretty much those are the three key segments for me.
Mm-hmm. Um,
How about you?
um,
What did it come down to you?
I primarily focused on Pedro's situation. Um, because there are some inconsistencies for me there. I'm with Chantel on that, but I'm also giving him the benefit of the doubt because it is the memory of a young child and kind of like a parent leaving.
Right.
And of course, up like the remaining parent is not going to tell that kid, well, this and this and this happened. They're just going to try to make it better and try to cover up whatever, foolishness is going on, and just make that kid feel as safe as possible. I loved his meeting with his cousin. I love that she was open to this. However, I would proceed with caution because although she may be open
Hmm.
to getting to know Pedro and his sister, who's to say his dad is?
Right.
And is the dad still married? What about what's his wife like? Does she like the same way that the cousin never knew anything about him, or or Nicole? Does the wife know? Like these are all things that I was thinking about with this, and I'm like, okay, this is the easiest part of your fact finding mission. But when it comes to your biological father and his kids, one of which is also named Pedro Jr., um, how's that gonna, like, could that cause him even more trauma? And
I
I'm
think it
really
did.
beginning to like him.
I think it did because he was like his whole heart just dropped when he found out that his brother has the same name as him.
And so I also wanted to confirm whether Pedro, our Pedro, is
Hmm.
the second junior.
Right.
Like I want to know who's first in the order.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's the other Pedro. I'm assuming that, but I could be
Right.
wrong.
Yeah,
Just
we need
by the
timeline.
fact, yeah, yeah, but I want confirmation on it because I this is how I picture it. Pedro's dad was a married man and
Hmm.
had a family and had Lydia on, as a side
Standby.
chick. Yeah. She was the mistress and he had a second family with her. But once the second kid came out, and based on what this cousin said, Nicole is the spitting image of the dad.
Yeah.
So maybe that scared him, or maybe his
Hmm.
wife found out and he had to discontinue.
Right.
All of that I want to piece together. But if his dad isn't willing to meet with him, that could be even more devastating to him because right now he's feeling the hurt of a young boy.
Right. And I completely understand that, but I think he's in his emotions. But I
Mhm.
think for me, the way I look at the situation, like I understand him wanting answers. I get that totally.
Yeah,
But here's
no,
the
I get it.
thing. Here's the thing, though. You can't walk around being mad just solely at your dad.
Mom.
You gotta look at the mama. You gotta look at Lydia too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's the way I look. He's in his emotions, and I get that. So I'm gonna show him a lot of grace. But he needs to once the dust settles. I really hope he goes back to Lydia and asks her the pointed questions.
I wonder how much Lydia has even discussed this with him
I don't think she has.
because I I've gone through something similar with this. Not as an outside child, but my father died when I was very, very, very young. And I don't know them. I don't know them. And I know that they don't want to know me. So I fear for him getting hurt all over again. Do I want him to know the exact truth? Yes, I do.
Hmm.
Yes, I do. And I want him to have an adult conversation with his mother where all the cards are laid out on the table and he knows where he's from, who is who, and why it happened, how they got together, how the dad
Hmm.
left, and that it wasn't his fault. It was grown people business.
Right. And I think with her, she has to tell him the complete truth,
Mm-hmm.
including the part she played in that.
Yes.
Whether she knew he had another
Mm-hmm.
family or she didn't, either way, she's got to tell him the truth because
Mm-hmm.
right now it's in his mind. I think he's feeling like I drove my dad away. That's the
And
vibe I get from
yeah,
him, and I don't think that's the case.
but that's why I said he's taking it from a child's
Right.
hurt, and she needs to remove that from him, absolve him of that, because his parents hurt him, meaning
Right.
Lydia and Pedro Sr. They hurt him and Nicole. They didn't ask for that. They didn't ask to be born,
Mm-mm.
but
And
y'all
I'm gonna say this.
handled it wrong.
Yeah, that I'm gonna say this, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I really feel that either Pedro needs to speak with Chantel about what questions he needs to ask. Because I was
Mm-hmm.
with her when she was laying it out for him. She was blunt and it came
Mm-hmm.
off rude, but I don't think she's wrong. I
Girl,
agree with her. I
where
agree
she
with
said
her.
even the dog went to the beach. You saw his poor face. I was like,
Yeah. So
ew.
either he needs to ask her what questions to ask because he may not be comfortable, or Chantel may need to be there with him as support.
Yeah, you know why she needs to be there? Because she's seeing it from a rational point of view. Because you heard how quickly she picked up on
Yeah.
it with regards to the moms.
Right.
Like, did she know he was married?
Yeah.
You're going to need that because he's going to be emotional. He's really going to
Hmm.
be emotional, like that 10-year-old
Oh
that
yeah.
was the last time you saw your dad kid.
Hmm.
And until he can process all of that hurt, and in his own time, Nicole, I get the feeling, I think he said like she just doesn't care. Like she
Right.
met the cousin on social media and she's like, "Oh, okay, you're my cousin. Great." And that was it. But
Exactly. I've always in my
mhm,
situation. I just never cared. I'll be completely honest. I never cared who my dad was. I mean, I saw a picture of him. I looked dead on
mhm,
him. There's no denial there. When I first I saw a picture of him when I was an adult, and I was like, oh, I just ran across this picture of your daddy. I'm like, do you want to see? I'm like, yeah, of course, let me see. Because she said when I was born, she wanted to slap me because I had the nerve to look dead on him. I'm like, okay. So she shows me the picture. Like, even with the afro and the super fly glasses, I knew. I'm like, really?
not the
Dead. I mean,
super fly glasses.
the super fly glasses. Now, he was a handsome man. I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm,
But I could see why my mama married him. But I'm like,
mhm.
yeah, you're right. I understand. There's just no denial. None.
Oh my
And she used to ask me, like, do you want me to find him? Like, does it? Like, no, I'm like, it's not. I'm not concerned. I said, and I've always told her as I gotten older. I said, look, here's the thing. I can't miss what I never had, and I can't waste my time wondering about someone
God.
who didn't wonder about me. You've had 43
Mhm,
years.
mhm,
If you're still alive, and I know he has other children. I'm like, okay, like I'm here. I'm good. Thank you. Keep it moving. But
yeah,
it's different when that parent was around, like in some capacity. Like my dad
yeah.
was around in zero capacity. So for him, I can understand having someone there that someone just all of a sudden just leave. So I just want for him is for Lydia to be honest.
Mhm. And okay, so we have some like discrepancy on numbers. Um, I thought it was like 3 times, and now it's 5 times that he's seen him up until the age of 10, and then senior disappeared. Um, I want him to get resolution. I hope that his father will at least meet with him once and give his side of the story of what happened, and then he really sit down with his mom and get an honest account of what her side of the story is, and then he can go back and try to rationalize both of them,
Right.
but it would be great if he can have a relationship with his father at some time in the future. you know um I hope if there is a spouse involved on the father's side, that she is also open to letting Pedro Sr. have that relationship with all of his children.
Right. Because he did what a lot of men do. So she could be mad. She's entitled, but you don't punish the children for adults' mistakes, and that's what I want to happen. I don't want Pedro punished because of dealings his mother and father had. That's mama and daddy
Mm-hmm.
business. They did what
Yeah.
they did. They're consenting adults. So um yeah, they did what they did to do, and they're here, and they need the children, Pedro, Nicole, if she wants it as well. They should be allowed the freedom to have a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, Lydia. I can't wait to see Lydia's reaction because I'm under the impression that she doesn't quite know any of this is going on, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't. Ooh,
She gonna be mad
charlatan.
too.
Charlatan.
She gonna be real mad. Like, how could you? Well, here's how I can see this happening.
Do you
Lydia's
think
gonna be
she's
like,
going to
"Why
take
did
it
you
as a
do this?"
betrayal?
Yeah, she's like, "Why did you do this? We've already talked about this. Um, like, how could you do this to me? Yeah, it's gonna be a whole. That's what's gonna happen.
Black Lavender, really? They should definitely bring Pedro's dad on the show so Pedro and all of America can drag his ass on national TV.
But I want to play devil's advocate on this one.
Mhm.
Here's the thing: how do we know that Lydia didn't tell him to stay away?
Exactly. That's why I want to hear both sides of the stories, even though Lydia will have her biased perspective
Hmm.
and probably put a slant on it. And then Pedro Sr. will have his perspective with his
Hmm.
slant on it. And then somewhere in the middle, hopefully with Chantel listening, they can Pedro can help understand what happened
Right.
between these two.
And
And
Chantel, I want Chantel there for because she's gonna call out the bullshit.
I would also
She
like to hear from Pedro Sr.'s brother, because
right.
he had to know what was going on too.
Mm, let's see.
Should have been told by his mother very early on.
So for me, like I understand the sentiment, but this is the way I grew up, and as my learning through life, the truth and the whole truth never comes from one person.
Correct.
The truth, like when I tell, like if I'm in a situation, I'm going to tell you the truth from my perspective
Mhm.
and the way I see it. But that's only one side. To me, the truth is this: if you listen to both sides, and as they say, the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yes, yeah, we know that crazy cat mama. She did say that he was married, right?
Right,
But
yeah,
what Pedro is having difficulty in accepting is, how do you just leave your children behind?
right. And why didn't you come around? That's the part.
Right.
That's the part I want to know.
And that
I
his
want
mom struggled, but dad was just MIA.
right.
But I feel Pedro has to also process that part with regards mom being with a married man. I think he skims over that, even
Hmm.
though Lydia was honest about it, but I
Hmm.
don't think she went through all of the nitty gritty of why he left and how often he came there, because I wouldn't be surprised if he was there more than 5 times.
Well, yeah, because like you have to realize him and Nicole are what 2, 3 years apart.
I think so.
So I mean, like, I'm sorry if they only saw each other like 5 times. Like, he got a 40% hit rate. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we're going off the 5 times, two kids
Mhm.
5 times, that's a good batting average. That's some Hall of Fame
Right.
stuff.
But remember, he said the last time I saw him, I was around 10. It
Hmm.
has to be more than that. Who was it? Chantel who said, did he come there late at night or something? Who
Hmm.
said he came late at night? That was
Hmm.
Pedro, right?
Right.
Like, something's going on there. And
And
it's
I
time for
understand.
them to be honest with Pedro. He's grown.
Right. And Lydia knew he was married. I love her honesty about that. But I think with her, I think Um, I kind of want to know, was it fizzled out? Did she? I want to know, did she give an ultimatum like, look, you leave your family for us?
I think so.
And he said no,
Hmm.
and she just cut off the communication. I want to know how the communication was lost. Um,
Hmm.
because like the people who are caught in the middle are the children,
Hmm.
and Lydia did what she thought was best.
Hmm.
If we're processing this the right way, Lydia thought she did what was best, and I understand because at some point, I don't think any woman wants to stay the side chick, especially when you have 2 children forever. So if that's the way it played out, kudos to her for doing what she thought was best. If I were in her position, I would do the same thing because, like, you told me you're not leaving your first family. That's okay. Then I can't have I would think that as the mom, you wouldn't want your children even more confused than they are probably are.
And you don't want your 10-year-old son seeing that. You got to
Mhm.
call a thing a thing. So maybe she just did it for the betterment of the kids, but she didn't realize, I guess, how hard it was going to be
Mhm.
on her own.
Now I
But she
always,
made it.
yeah, I always tell people like you can't really blame someone for the mistakes because we make our choices based on the information we have at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you go with your gut, you go with what you think is right, and you go from there. Now, hindsight 20 years down the road is hindsight 2020. You
Yeah.
know, I can see her looking at me like, her looking at me like, well, you know what? I shouldn't have did that. And this is why she's so hard on Nicole. And I understood that. Like I've talked to some people
Mm-hmm.
about this. I'm like, no, she's gone through this. All Lydia sees with Nicole and Pedro is he's married. He's married. He's
Yeah.
married. And he's not um she's not hearing separated. Because who is to say that Pedro Senior didn't say that he was separated from his first
Mm-hmm.
wife? So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that we don't know.
Yeah.
And the way she reacted to Nicole keeps having me thinking like, well, did he tell you he was separated? He was getting a divorce? Did you get? I wonder if Lydia got caught up in the same web Nicole did. Is this if Nicole doesn't
Probably.
have the children?
Mm-hmm.
So I give Lydia a lot of grace on this one. I just want to hear the full story.
Yeah. I'm gonna withhold my opinion on it until we hear both sides, if we hear
Mhm.
both sides.
Right.
And just hope that Pedro can process this and not be too hurt by it. All right, so let's just go segment by segment, just briefly. So we start off with Pedro, and still in New York City, calling Chantel, telling her about the fight. Pay Chantel's like, you weren't raised right. Who gets into a fight because of somebody saying yo mama? Um, and the present we find out from Alejandro to Pedro was the beard color. I don't know what the real name of that is, but that was the gift that Alejandro thought was so important to be opened up the
Oh,
night before.
Parson just for men.
It was just for men. Okay, okay. Um, then we see Winter and Ja in the car, and they're talking about this proposal. And he says it was a promise ring, but she says it was offensive that he thought it was a promise ring. Like, girl, were you even there when it happened? Like, y'all got really different stories as to what happened.
Mhm.
Okay. But apparently, she's going on the trip with the family to South Carolina to discover Karen's roots, and she's bringing Ja. What do you think about how she's trying to inject Ja into her family? Is she doing
I
it
don't
the
like
right
that.
way?
No, no. Because here's the thing. They're not feeling him for the for solid reasons,
Yeah.
and you can't force someone on them, especially when you guys just got back together and there's all that history. So it's gonna take time, and that's like a special family thing. I would not have brought him on that. I just
I
thought it
was
was
kind of shocked
I
too.
was I thought it was inappropriate.
Yeah, because what if you, what, okay, here was my thing. I always go to worst case scenario. What if you found out really something bad about your ancestor,
Right.
And that's something maybe you want to keep within the family?
Yeah. Like
I
I was
don't
thinking like
know.
what if like somehow like you found out that maybe like your family owned Job's family at some point. I mean like what kind of mess would that be?
Yeah, it's like I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought it was strange that she was bringing him to something like this. But on the ride there, I was like, well, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm thinking that this is something totally different, and they're not going to really, really do a genealogy thing. But then when we got there, and it was that, I was like, oh, and he's just sitting there like nodding, looking like one of these things just don't belong there. I
Right.
don't
And
know.
and I think what it is for me, it was just too intimate because you combine the genealogy with the grandfather's passing. I just felt like he shouldn't have gone. And even if Winter did invite him, fine, whatever. You decline that. You tell her like, you know what, I'm gonna put this one out because this is a very intimate, emotional family thing, and this should be for you and your family only. And I'm not family.
Yeah. Yeah. And he also mentioned that the grandfather died on his birthday or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Child, I can't. So they show up at Karen's house. We find out that Karen's dad passed away a year ago. So she's really amped up trying to trace her roots. And she contacted this historian to learn more. And everybody is taking this trip down to South Carolina. Um, and the whole family assembles at Karen's house, I guess. Um, Pedro's still in New York. And they're like, is that Winter? And is Ja coming? And they are not happy.
Right.
And then they want them all in the same car. And Ja's like, no, it's Winter who says, no, we'll drive our car.
Mhm.
You want to be with them, but yet you separate yourself from them,
Exactly.
which is a little off putting. I don't know. Anyway, Ja's hoping that Chantel won't be overbearing. Karen feels something in the energy for, like, she talks a lot of weird stuff. I don't know. There
I
was
think that's just for the cameras.
okay. Let's see. Okay, so then we go to the meeting with Pedro and his cousin. So we've already talked about that.
Mhm.
So we can skip over that. Then we have Karen and the family sit down with this historian, and he gives them a backstory on her great great grandfather or something like that. He was freed. He had a 40-acre lot. He was doing really well for himself. There was even a picture, and she said that the picture looked just like her dad,
Mhm.
and that there's a lake that's named after them. Like, it was super interesting. I don't think I could ever get that genealogy thing. Caribbean records are so bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just like here. If you're like born in the country, like yeah, good luck with that.
Hmm.
Good luck with that.
Um, why did Karen have a magnifying glass?
She wanted to see everything.
She just does the most, and it doesn't even come off as like funny, quirky. It just comes off as like, huh?
To me, she's trying too hard to be Chris Jenner, and that's it. I stand by that.
Oh my god. Okay,
She
so
wants to
then
be.
she
She
wants
is
to be what?
great value. She is great value. Dollar General. Chris Jenner. That's the way it comes across to me.
So bad, so bad. Oh my god. Sorry, y'all. Then we go down to the Dominican Republic, and we see Nicole meeting up with her friend Koriyama for coffee, and she's telling her about the breakup with Alejandro. I don't think that they're broken up.
They're not. I said that last episode. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. So I remember I asked, well, if they were broken up, why would Alejandro still meet Pedro?
Yeah. And then, well, her friend is like, you need to end this relationship. She thinks that he is like a liar. She doesn't like the cheating thing. Um, and she's on Pedro's side with regards to the like fight or something like that. Like, she's just against Alejandro, and she thinks that Nicole should get rid of him.
I can see Karama's point because Alejandro's not supportive of, wasn't supportive of the boobs. You know, he tries to be a little bit controlling, so I get it. But she loves her. She loves her some Alejandro. So.
But why? I don't see. I don't see the attraction.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's just some kind of chemistry they have. I don't know either. You just never like. Sometimes you'll see couples you just don't get it, but hey, it works for them. And Alejandro's not a bad guy. He's just not completely honest, and that's a problem.
But he was honest with Nicole. I think it was Nicole who wasn't 100% honest with everybody else. It's Nicole who kind of made the misstep with her background on this. He was honest from the jump.
He was honest, but I think what kind of rubbed me the wrong way is when he showed up to Dominican Republic. I think more for me when he didn't tell Nicole like, hey, no, we can't stay with your mom. We don't know her. I don't know her.
See, no, okay.
That was Nicole's fault. That was Nicole's fault.
No. But let me give you a breakdown on how Caribbean people travel.
Okay.
We don't know nothing about no hotel. Gotcha. If there are people, if there are like how remember I told you I surprised my mother for her 70th birthday and I took her on a trip to Greece. And when I told her on the way to the airport that's where we were going, she's like, Greece? That's in Europe. I go, yeah. Greece. We don't have people there, so we can't go. Because in her head, if we don't have people there, we don't have a place to stay. Because we're staying with the people, our people.
Gotcha.
I said, but we're staying in a hotel so we can go. We have the tickets, we have the reservation, we have everything. And she's like, but we don't have people there. This is what she was stressing. Like, I really was getting aggravated because I'm not in the same, like, I don't think the same way as my mom.
Right.
My mom feels that we can only go Barbados, Miami, because I'm here, Brooklyn, because we got family there, Canada, only Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa.
Can't go nowhere else.
And London, because we have people there, and we could stay with them.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense now.
Like, I went to London a few times, and each time I stayed in a hotel, I was like, why? My sister there, we got people there. What are you doing? Why are you wasting that money? You could go shopping. But that's how she thinks. So Alejandro is like, oh, Nicole said I could stay with her people. We're going to stay with her people. But what he forgot was to confirm that the people knew he was staying there.
Okay, there we go. No, because like for me, like when I go anywhere at hotel, it's just hotel. Yeah, because I don't like staying with nobody, no way.
Well, it just depends.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I think by the time I hit my 20s, I did not want to stay with the people.
Right.
Because most of the people I couldn't be bothered with.
I got you.
I couldn't be bothered with. You know, but it's just I can see his way of thinking, especially with regards with Nicole and the lack of information she gave all parties.
I think with Nicole, and I think this is what it is, had Nicole prepared her mother better, I still think Lydia would still have issues with Alejandro. Don't get me wrong, but I think the way the packaged Alejandro and presented him was not. It just no.
But as a girl child, though, how you gonna roll up in your Caribbean mama house with a man?
Right. Yeah.
Saying we sleeping together.
And he's married. And then he's married.
What? Yeah. It doesn't really like no. Wait, what Tracy's saying? Because let's see if we're thinking on the same lines today, Tracy. I'm working and phone rang. I just missed about 24 minutes. Tracy. Tracy, you better pay attention at work, Tracy. No, as a big old donkey woman now, and my mom has dementia. Yeah, I can do that.
Right. No, you can,
but
but
at her age, I I couldn't. Not with my mother. Not with no, no. It just wouldn't have. Yeah, no. But I guess Nicole, like last season, I found Nicole really big in her britches. And I think she handled the whole situation poorly. I think um I, I I think she was negligent in revealing some information.
mm-hmm.
And I think she put Alejandro in like the worst position possible. He was never going to be accepted like that. And I
Right.
also wonder if Pedro ever brought Chantel to the house and said, "Mom, this my hoe from Georgia. She's staying here tonight." I don't think so. And he's the oldest, and he's a boy, and boys have more freedom than girls. Let's just call
Yep.
a thing a thing. You know what? Ah! I she shot herself in her foot last season, which made for even more uncomfortable
Yes.
scenarios this season. But I was very interested when, and I'm keeping it in my back pocket. Remember, Alejandro told Pedro last week when I mentioned to Nicole to come to New York, and he said, "Is your mom okay with that?" And he said, "Lydia said, if he's paying for it, you can go."
Right.
That sounds like a typical Caribbean mom. So I'm gonna anywho, let's go back here. Let's get to the final dinner. Why River always gotta pop things off?
He can't help it.
Mm.
But he wasn't wrong.
He wasn't. He
He wasn't
wasn't.
wrong. And I enjoy River for this. He's willing to just put it out there, like in front of the person, instead of keep talking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
have resentment grow. He's just like, look, let's just put this out here. Let's talk about you're here. Like, what are you really trying to do? And
And
it's a fair
he's not
question.
being rude about it. I think where it's
Mm-mm.
rubbing wrong is when Chantel then adds on top of it. And I don't like the way how she says it and what she says when she adds on the River. Like I wish she would just let River talk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But and how does Winter not know what diet she's on?
Right.
How's she telling Chantel that they're kosher, but that's not what they are? They follow a biblical diet. He's with the Nazarene church or religion, and like they don't eat pork. Like it's similar to kosher, I will say that, because they don't eat bottom feeders. And that's a bad way of saying it, but it's very accurate, you
But
know.
that's what the thing about people who eat catfish. Like, oh, I don't eat catfish yet. It's a scavenger, and I just don't eat scavengers. Like, okay, more for us.
I didn't know that it is. I've never had catfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I have to try.
It eats. Yeah, it's a
But
scavenger fish.
I mean, I did not like Josh saying I don't eat bottom feeders, because you eat bottom feeders, you have a bottom feeder mentality. Like, don't offend the person that's paying for
Right.
your dinner, you dipshit.
Exactly. You can just say I just don't eat this
Or say
and
I
keep
have
it
an
moving.
allergy. No
Yeah.
one's going to question an allergy. But he has to turn it all around, and then Winter, you're just blindly following this bullshit, and you don't even know what it is that you're doing. If you're curtailing my menu options, I have to be very clear what it is that I'm following. Give me a good reason why, other than you're a bottom feeder. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It has been up until today. Wait, what? What's been up?
Like Ryan has a smart TV. I guess she's watching on her TV, but the chat
Oh,
is not coming up on the TV.
um, oh, okay. Just I know on mine sometimes I lose it, so I just hit the up button and open up the options for the webcast and see if there's one that says connect to chat. Yeah. Yeah, the smart TVs you can connect. And yeah, two TVs in my house can connect. My kitchen
Ah,
television and my bedroom television. But my living room television, that's the oldest TV in my house, and it doesn't. It's not an option anymore. Oh my god. I have to watch a live tonight. Ryan, thank you. Do you have a Samsung, Ryan? Not to be all nosy or anything, but I'm going to check mine. Right now my television is on. I'm watching the service for Colin Powell on mute. So hoping to hear some nice little Anglican hymns. Um, Hear me trying to catch my youth. Ugh. I also don't see any comments you are highlighting. Oh, wait, I haven't highlighted anything. Do you see that? Let us know, Ryan. Yes, I have a sign. Oh, okay. Now you got me scared, Ryan. Oh, no. Child. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so you see this. Perfect. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing some sort of stupid update or something
yep.
on YouTube that's just screwing everybody over. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry about that, Ryan.
But I'll be honest. I'm not normally here for Karen's extraness, but she was funny. She's like, "Who
Mm-hmm.
do you call a bottle feeder?" Wait a
But
damn
I
minute.
was of the same thing. She's paying for dinner. Don't fucking insult her. Let her eat whatever the hell she
Right.
wants. I mean, oh Lord. I have to check my other TV if it still has live chat. It's an insignia. I see stuff. Thank you, Stephen. So you see stuff. Yay. Oh my God. So what else happened?
I think after Karen went off or started to go off,
Mhm.
that was pretty much it.
Yeah, this did he call Karen and the crew pagans? There's no proof
Yes.
that they're pagans.
Well, based on his religion, the way they see things, like
So
they're pagan.
non-Nazarenes are all pagans.
Like if you believe in if you if you partake in basically if you partake in the commercial side of holidays, you're pagan. Like if you Valentine's Day, if you don't observe the traditional meanings of the holiday,
Mm-hmm.
you're considered pagan. That's the way I took it.
Okay.
That's what he's looking at. Like if you're not celebrating Easter in the right way, if you're running around here, hiding Easter eggs, that's paganism. Halloween, if you out here dressing up trick or treating, that's paganism. That's the way I took it.
But they don't celebrate holidays, period.
I think they celebrate them in a traditional way. That's the way he was speaking about the holiday. That's the way it came across to me. Even though I could be wrong.
Hmm.
Because but you may be honest because Winter said she didn't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Let me see. Cause they could be like, ain't it the Jehovah Witnesses? They don't celebrate holidays neither.
They don't celebrate. Oh, I'll have to look it up. I used to know this stuff so bad.
Which religion doesn't celebrate holidays? That's Jehovah Witness. So then it's not. Wait, do Nazarenes speak in tongues? Wait, what did I look up on Google? Hold on. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. So for Jehovah's Witnesses, it says Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate most holidays or events that honor people who aren't Jesus. That includes birthdays, Mother's Day, Valentine's, and Halloween. They also don't celebrate religious holidays such as Christmas and Easter in the belief that these customs have pagan origins.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, I love me some Christmas. I give myself the best Christmas presents all the time. Paganism is a broad thing. Pagans the traditions of like Yule, Midsummer. For example, I'm Wiccan, but it comes under the umbrella of paganism. Hard to explain it in text. Huh, interesting. Their churches don't have windows. Say what now? So how they see outside? Huh? You're right about holidays not celebrate either. They're similar because they believe only their group of followers are saved. Oh, okay. Child, I don't know. I barely know the religion that my mother observes.
Right. I like different religions. It's very interesting because you get to learn about different parts of the world. It's always fascinating me.
Jehovah Witnesses churches don't have windows. Really?
Oh, really?
Why not? Like that's one of the prettiest things about a church. Is the pretty stained glass windows. I mean, you can't really
Hmm.
see out of them, but they're pretty.
Exactly.
Anywho, that was the episode, y'all. The Family Chantel, season 3, episode 4, Finding Your Roots. Stephen, that's not true. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we've got a difference of opinion. Maybe it just depends on the space that they're in, you know? But it's not like it's a strict no windows policy. Alrighty. So guys, let us know what you think about let's move on from this subject. um let's just leave your comments below. We really do appreciate it because we do hear lots of really nice, interesting comments from our
I thought the
live
same thing.
chat.
I thought the same thing.
It's
I
starting
thought the
small,
same thing.
middle. Oh yes, yes. I forgot
Mhm.
about that because I was so focused on the food. But yeah, it was almost as if he was dismissing Karen,
Mhm.
and what she says doesn't count. Like if Thomas said it, it'd be okay, but if she says it, huh? Who are you? You're just a woman. And he has Winter so submissive. She
It's
believes
weird.
any dog poop that comes out of his mouth, and it's irritating.
It was just so
Irritating.
weird. It was weird when he said that. I took it as like, mm, I'm the man. You just a woman.
Yeah, yeah. What did he say? He doesn't believe in the matriarch. It's the patriarch he
He said
follows or
he
something.
said in his religion is not a matriarchal
It's a
society. It's a
patriarchal.
patriarchal. Yeah, I was like, oh,
He
okay,
said he doesn't respect Karen because it's not the matriarch, it's the patriarch. Like,
yeah.
so Nazarene, never mind. I ain't even gonna get into that.
It is
I feel that
weird. It
he's
just struck me.
twisted it. I feel
Yes,
he's twisting this to suit his needs in order to keep his built-in babysitter Winter. I said it.
I can go with that because he's the way he said that. It wasn't. I didn't take it offensively. Or I took it as like, okay, there's gonna be issues because I can't see him fitting in with Chantel's family, with Karen and Chantel being as outspoken as they are, which
Mm-hmm.
now it kind of makes me think that they're right when they feel that Ja is trying to separate Winter from
Mm-hmm.
the family. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that way in the beginning. I really didn't. But when he said what he said, it made me go back to them saying like, yeah, he's trying to pull her out, and I'm like, nah. But now with this, and he believes basically his way is the right way. I could see him trying to pull him away from quote unquote bad influences, i.e., Karen and Chantal, because he doesn't want Winter picking up those bad habits.
You know what I just noticed though? River be asking him questions. He don't have a problem with River addressing him, but he got a problem with Chantel and Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no difference in, well, less attitude, but it is still a direct question from Winter, like basically what are you up to?
Mm-hmm.
What are your motives? What do you hope to achieve with this? You know, River's been asking, like you said, very direct and pointed questions. He has no problem with River addressing him, but every time Chantel or Karen say something, it's a problem, and he doesn't
Yeah,
respect them.
we
Why?
have to keep an eye on. We have to go keep an eye on that.
Is Winter still with him?
Yes,
How
they just got
stupid!
it together and they're working through their issues.
How stupid! Oh, look at Miss Alma. Sorry, y'all. I'm just looking.
Yeah, I
Chat.
think we all need to keep an eye on this because this to me
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way it struck me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Leave your comments below. Tell us if we're like really grasping at straws or if you see something that just doesn't shake out well. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us in the live chat. And hello, replay crew. Ja doesn't respect dominant women. I don't think he respects women, period, because I don't think Winter's not dominant. She's very submissive, and he don't respect her ass neither. Or else he would have said, I got 2 kids instead of one when he hooked up with her when she was what, 17, 18.
Hmm.
Mm, he don't respect women.
Ooh, that means it
And
says, ooh,
having
this is
2 children at the same time with 2 different women, that's not respecting them either. Maybe Winter's
maybe.
okay. Mm, true.
Yeah, I think she's okay. I think she's okay with it. I definitely think she's okay with it because she loves him, which is
Mm-hmm.
completely fine. It's just more when I'm not a fan of. Okay, I'm not a fan of bickering between the sexes anyway. I just don't particularly care for it. It's not something I will do.
Mm-hmm.
I will disengage. But I definitely don't like it when men are unnecessarily disrespectful towards women because the energy
Mm-hmm.
is not the same. It's just I just think for me I think it's inappropriate. As
Mm-hmm.
a man, you don't go picking fights with women. I just don't believe in it.
I'm not a fan of making her look stupid.
I don't think he's. I see that, but she's Winter's accepting this, so no one can make you look like anything you don't accept.
but I want to know why she's accepting it so willingly.
Hmm.
She's got so much to offer the right
Love her.
person.
Oh my goodness.
She has a beautiful personality, a beautiful spirit. Her freckles are so amazing.
I think she's so used to him. Here's how I really feel. I adore Winter. I think she's got good head on her shoulders. She's got a lot to offer. This is that. I still think she's trapped in the mentality of what if no other man will take me?
And that's manipulation.
Yes.
And shame on him.
And I wonder, okay, we're running out of time because we have another
Yeah,
show to do.
yeah, yeah.
But I keep wondering if Ja has told her when they were breaking up or having a fight, like, well, if I
You'll
leave,
never get anybody else.
right. I keep wondering if he's ever said that to her.
I wouldn't be surprised. But in all honesty, he's not a prize. He's got beautiful hair. I will give him that. I've loved his hair from day one. Whether it's in braids or like out, it's
Hmm.
beautiful. And his complexion, his skin, I am so envious of. But him as his personality would not mesh with me.
Right.
Mm-mm.
And before we go, I have to
Yeah.
highlight this from Ryan.
Uh-huh.
She needs to know her worth. She's
Yeah.
glowing up though. Right now, she may figure it out soon. I hope she does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I because you know what I like when this is bad, but I like it when her and Chantel bicker.
Yes. I just feel like all of that progress that she was making with Chantel, like really stepping up and giving her
Mm-hmm.
voice
Yes.
and really coming stepping out of her shell. I think all of it's lost now that she's back with him.
Right, because she was doing her thing. I'm like, yay, Winter, and now like, no,
Yeah.
and I don't even know him. It's just.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back here in a couple minutes to do My Big Fat Fabulous Life. Whitney. So come back
Child.
if you have time and you're not getting in trouble at work. Come on back and let's just talk about all the buffoonery over on My Big Fat Fabulous Life. All right. So, Jamal, any final words?
No, we're good.
All righty. So, until a few minutes from now.
Of course.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.